Sunny, you took headphones, huh? Get it now. Let's wait for another minute, team, and then we'll get started. Okay, so we have around 30 plus people in the call, and this call is basically, as I mentioned, this is basically to give you the hints. We are not going to discuss the answers. We are not going to discuss the intention of the questions in detail, but exactly we are going to give only the hints, how exactly you'll have to appear for the sourcing test, how exactly you have to appear for the assessment. All right, team. Meanwhile, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask. Okay.
Sure, sir.
So now let's say it's a combination of two types of a question. When I say a combination of a two types of a question, Arvind, this question paper has been little modified. The time when you cleared, back then it was pretty straightforward. After that, I slightly increased the complexity. However, if you want to stay in the call, you can stay, but otherwise feel free to drop. I think that's
Noted,
what you
sir.
were supposed to ask.
No problem. I will be there. Okay.
Okay, all right then. Mm, okay, okay, all right, team. So you can lower the hand, Arvind. Okay. So yeah, here is a test. So I would say now here the test is with the combination of two things. Earlier test, what you received the level one assessment, which was pretty straightforward, where we need to select only the right options. And then we had a sample test, which was again straightforward, where we need to select only the right option. So what will happen if we get to the use of only selecting the right option? Tomorrow, if something goes wrong, we won't be able to debug. We won't be able to understand where is the mistake. So that's reason in this test, I have slightly turned the pattern where if there are 40 questions, for 15, 20 questions, I asked you to select the wrong options. And for 15, 20 questions, I asked you to select the right option. So now how you'll have to appear for the test is basically, let's say, uh, if you see, okay, select the wrong option. First, see which is the right option. What I would have selected if the question was kind of a select a right option. Then you would have gone and upfront straightforward selected the right option. But when I'm asking, select the wrong option for that, then you need to select all the rest of the options which are wrong. First thing. So think in a point of view where instead of selecting immediately wrong answers, what you need to do is like first you need to think the reverse the question, think that which could be the right answer, and there will be one straightforward right answer. So let's say if there are two set of questions, one is where you have a circle where you can say select only one option, and the other is you have a box where you can select multiple option. So when there is a circle, you have only one option. So you have to select the most appropriate, only one answer, which is the most accurate one. But wherein if you see the box, then you'll have to select the multiple answers, which could be there could be a multiple answers which are correct. And that's where we need to select the multiple ones. But now there's a confusion between all of them and none of them. So what will happen to all of them and none of them? Let's say if I ask you to please select the wrong option. What if I ask you to please select the right option? You would have gone and selected any one option that is particularly right. And immediately you would have ignored all of them or none of them. You would have not counted on that because you know this one particular option and one option from this is basically right. And you'll just go ahead and select that particular right option. But wherein yes, Suruchi.
Shiv, for instance, in this question, it says wrong operators.
Wrong
So
operator, wrong operation, anything is fine.
so if we were to look at the operators, we will select only the operators and not the options.
I consider both thing as the same options. Somewhere I used option, somewhere I used operator.
Okay, because if I am taking a look at the operator, I am just going by the operator and I am leaving the options bit of it out of it.
Hmm. No, no, don't get
So
confused between the options and operator. Both are same. What I mean to
okay,
say is both are same. It goes
all right, okay.
somewhere I used option, somewhere I used operator. But if you see the options or operator, what all the options you see, all these are basically a various operators or all these are various options. So don't get
Shiv,
confused between them.
here this particular question,
Hmm.
okay, you are asked to select as the wrong operators. Okay.
Right.
So if I select only the wrong operators, like 3,
Hmm.
that is one probability. The other probability, the 3 with the other 2, like all of them and none of them.
Right. Now let me come back to that question again. Now let's say if I ask you to select the wrong operator, you would select whichever is the wrong operator, right? If I ask you to select the right option, you would select only one that option which is right. But now I'm asking you to select the wrong option. So you'll start go ahead and selecting all the various wrong option, but one of them is a right. So when one of them is a right, then all of them is wrong or right.
No, here your question is operator, not the option.
See, both are
Correct.
same. Don't get confused between operator word and options word.
No, here only
Both
we
are
got
same.
confused. Even yesterday I sent you this message.
Both are same. Operator, some places I used operator, some places I used option. So both are same. Now let's say if you all this, if given this all the 6 options, when I'm saying select the wrong options or when I'm saying select the wrong operator, what will you do? So what if the question was select the right operator or right option? This confusion we did not face while it was in the sample test. Because in sample test, even I used operator or even I used option, but we did not get the confusion because the answers were pretty straightforward. We know all the right answers. But as soon as I reverted it, where I'm asking you to use a wrong options or wrong operator, then we are getting confused. Right? Why is the confusion so? When we were pretty straightforward in the sample test, everyone scored 100% without any confusion because the answer was straightforward.
Kamini, go on mute.
Wherein,
Hey, Nalini, go on mute here.
Kamini,
But logically, if we see Shiv, all of them, none of them is creating unwanted confusion.
why it is creating unwanted confusion? Let's say if any one option is correct from this, if I ask you to select the right option, you'll just go ahead and select the right option. But if I'm asking you to select the wrong option, wherein there's one of the option which is right. So while selecting the wrong option, all of them will stand right or wrong because one of them option is correct.
It will stand as a
No,
wrong.
if you do like that, we need to choose 5 or only the operator 3.
See, here you have
Logically,
multiple options
if
to
you look
select.
at logically, if you look at logically,
No, what are you expecting, Shiv? So that we know your mindset, accordingly we can answer.
Now
But
let's
if we
say,
try to see the answer wise, we will only select first 3 options.
okay, you will only select first 3 options, right?
Yes, sir. Right.
Okay, but when I'm asking select the wrong option, where one of the options is right in that, then all of the options will stand right or wrong.
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 You have answer. None of the options will stand right or wrong.
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 Wrong, because one of them is right.
Correct.
Again, all of them will stand wrong because one of them is right. Again, none of them will stand wrong because one of them is right.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yes or
So
no?
expectation is that in addition to the first 3, even the last 2 should be marked. Is
Even
that
the last, when there is a multiple option, you have to select all the multiple options possible. All the multiple options possible. It's not one or
if
two.
that is the case, no, let's have
If
it
it is matching
option
right,
alone.
see, if I'm not selecting this, then I'm not selecting the right option because all of them here stands wrong.
Correct.
When I say one of them option is correct, then all of them option which stands wrong, which will becomes wrong. If I ask you to select the right option, and if you have only one option to select, you'll go ahead and select only that one option which is right. But when I'm asking you to select all the wrong option, what you're trying to do, you're trying to select all those wrong options. Now, in the verge of selecting the wrong option, what happens to all of them? Will it stand right or wrong? Because one of them is correct. So will it become right or wrong?
wrong.
wrong?
None of them option will become right or wrong.
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 That's simple logic. When I'm asking you to select the wrong, now if I ask you to select the right option, you'll go ahead and straight away select that one particular right option. Same thing I'm asking you in another language. Select the wrong options.
No,
Why
your
don't you select
objective
all
is
those?
your objective is 101% correct. We are not doubting on it. But as a word, operator and option, definitely it makes a difference.
See, when the same question was asked in a sample test question, the question did not arise. And we all scored 100%. Same
No,
question,
the
there in a
right
So
question
sample
maybe
question.
Shiv, that time
That
similar
was
questions were
right
not
answer.
there.
Wrong was not there that
Shiv,
time.
also once I felt that the operators
That
means
time it was
only
all
and or
straightforward.
not answer.
That time it was all straightforward. It was all only about selecting the right option. When I
Right.
have an option where selecting only the right option or operator, that time fatafat I went ahead and selected whichever is the right, and that's how I scored 100%. But as soon as I tweaked it little, everyone got panic. Everyone got confused between options or operator. Everyone got confused between.
Shiv, I just have a small point here, especially for this question, right? To test our knowledge. As
Hmm.
long as we know which are the wrong operators and we are taking mark on them,
Hmm.
correct? That
Right.
should that not serve the purpose as far as the knowledge is concerned?
You simply have to reverse the game. When I say you simply have to reverse the game, what if the question was to select the right operators? What will you do? You'll go ahead and select only that one operator which is right.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Same thing
Yeah.
as I'm asking, select the wrong operator now or wrong options. What will you do? Reverse it. Instead of selecting one right answer, select 5 wrong answers.
Okay, I think the confusion is coming, Shiv, because all of them, none of them don't fall under the word operator, right? They don't fall under that term operator.
Okay, let me just make this as an option. Everything I'll create it as an option. I'll not use operator as a word. So that confusion stays aside. Now, when I say option, again, I'm making it clear, operator or option, don't make confused. It's the same thing. When the sample test was straightforward, that time we didn't had a confusion. But here, when I'm saying in a reverse way, instead of asking you select the right operator, I'm asking you select the wrong operator. Then we started creating the confusion. Why? Because our mind was set only to drive in a right direction, only to see what is right. But as soon as we started seeing what is right, wrong, or as soon as we started asking our mind to pick what is wrong, then we got confused. And this is what the importance of understanding the right and wrong. Because tomorrow if something goes wrong, if tomorrow if something is not working, we'll not be able to debug, we'll not be able to really understand why it is not working, where I'm going wrong. This is where the importance of knowing what is right and what is wrong, how it is right and how it is wrong is really important. And that's where I slightly tweak the game in the level 2, where you need to select the wrong operator. Sample test I gave, everyone cleared with 100% and same question, almost 24 questions are same over here. I've added just extra 14 questions, but 24 questions are same, but asked little differently. Instead of asking you to select the right options, I asked you to select the wrong options. And then mind was unable to digest it.
No, sir. No, Shiv. No. See, if you look at the next question is a different word, we got little confused. Otherwise, the intention and all good only. Now we take your point. We take your point, and henceforth also we will maintain that.
Okay. So see, it's not only about always like which is right, which is right, which is right, which is wrong. We should also know which is wrong, which is wrong, which is right or wrong, right or wrong, right or wrong. So that's how you need to train our TV curve brains. If you're not training our brain in that way, we'll complete the course. We'll know what to do, how to do, but we'll not know how to debug. If something goes wrong tomorrow, if the new test comes, and new test may be in this way, then you will get again confused. This thing I never seen, or this thing I never heard. Will that exist? So why will get, because if it is a straightforward, if it is a straightforward only to see what is right, then that goes purely a theory based. But here, this is not the theory based. Everything you'll have to run, see whether it is working or not. And then you'll understand this is not the theory based, this is actually a practical based. Now, if I ask you the straight question for this question, please select the right option, you would have gone ahead and selected that one right option. Okay, and the rest of the 5, you would not even bother about it. All of them, none of them, you will not even bother about it. Similarly, when I'm asking you to select the wrong option, reverse it. Instead of that one right, select all other 5 which falls wrong. The reason all of them or none of them will stand wrong, because one of them is correct or one of them is wrong. Correct?
Got it, Shiv. Got it. I think there was some gap in our understanding expectation, in terms of how to read the question. So I think now it is much.
If I say wrong, in this, if you say there are 3 operators wrong, 1 operator correct, or 3 options wrong, 1 option wrong, then now come to the fifth option. All of them, is it wrong or right then? Because one of them option is correct. Then all of them will stand wrong. None of them will stand wrong. Correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Cool?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, here in URL, all of them, none of them, you don't really have to get confused. Please select the right option. Here you have only to select one option, because you have only option to select one. It's a circle one. You have to select only one option, and which is pretty straightforward. You know what is the right answer. You'll go ahead and select only that one option, which is correct. Select the right options. So in the previous sample test also, it was only the option. I never used the word operator. But that time, we immediately selected that one option, which is the correct option. We did not think about whether the word is option or operator. I did not change the words of option or operator. It's same as it is. But it's just that the way I asked now, please select instead of right, I've made it wrong. Instead of right, I made it wrong. That's where created all the confusion. Otherwise, there is no confusion. It's just that you have to think in another point of view. Cool?
Some questions show the expectation is not clear actually. Like, I mean, like how we discussed in the
You
past.
run the searches. I'll not say the answers. You run the searches. You'll know whether it is working or not. Though syntactically it is correct, but once you run the searches, you'll know it is not really working. Why it is not working? You observe the whole input and the whole output. What is getting highlighted? What is not getting highlighted? Is it assumption or is it desired result? You observe that output closely, run multiple searches, then you'll get to understand. Okay, this is the reason this is wrong. This is the reason, though syntactically it is correct, but actually it doesn't work like this. If I club something like this, and when I run a searches, it completely messes up. It completely gets confused. Instead of
Yeah.
clubbing, I should be keeping it separately. That's where in those options also there are right options. Once you run the searches, you'll get to know which one is correct. It's not just syntactically, but also as per the output wise. Now
Yeah,
let's
sure.
say
No, one question I told. Okay. Anyways, you're scrolling all. No, I'll talk that time. Thank you.
I know where you're coming from, but you try correcting this one. The answer to this will lies in that. If you have the question in that, I know where you have a question. You have a question in that, but if you have an answer to this, you'll have an answer to that. But if you say no, answer to this is clear, but
I
answer
am.
to that is not clear, then that's where the confusion is.
This is very clear for me. These two.
Okay. Now let's say in this, you run this search, but you won't get the result. But I'm still saying that is correct because syntactically it is correct.
So in that case, what is your expectation, Shiv? I mean, how you design the
You
question?
change a word and see now. Instead of that one word, you do something else, whether it is working or not. You change a word and see. And in that example, you change a word and see. In this example, you change a word and see, it will work. And in that example, you change a word and see, it won't work. Because in that example, we use the right examples. We use the site linkedin.com as well github.com. In that example, we use the proper examples, means proper syntax along with the proper website. But it's not working. Why it is not working? It's messing up. But wherein in this example, we gave this word.com, but still no website exists with that particular word. But if I change a word, I'll start getting the results. Here the concept is whether the particular what we say operator is correct or not, whether it is forming a web link or not. But in that example, we have given the right web link, but why it is not working? Even after following a thumb rule of URL or site, why it is not
Yes.
working? Because it messes up.
It's
But
already
again, in that
discussed in the
example,
class
I
also.
gave
I
one more
remember.
option.
You already discussed that also in the class. If that same example, I remember that.
I discussed. See, based on
But
the class discussion, only
I
all this.
remember that, Shiv, but still I selected based on the syntax. Oh, the syntax this is wrong. So
See, it's not just the note. Everything what I discussed in the class, that is also captured over here. If you're focused in the class, you would have not missed it. And again, in that example, one example is there, which will give you the right answers. But at the same time, I told you, okay, it's not suggestible. But yes, we can. So that in that
yes,
question, that answer is correct.
I remember that. Correct.
Okay. So that's why you're getting confused. That's the reason I said, if you have an answer for this, you'll have an answer for that. Now you got Raghu, where I'm coming from.
Yes, Shiv, got, but that question is still very confusing. I'll anyways use store, no? I'll do.
Very confusing. It's pretty straightforward. You have to run the search, is what I'm saying. Without running the search, with the assumptions, if you go with the assumptions of syntax and all everything, if you keep only the mind in the thought process, it won't work. You have to keep your fingers also in the work. You have to see the output. If I have
You
to
at
show
least
you,
you would have given this hint in the beginning. We already.
it's proper understanding. Yeah, why should I give you every single hint?
Shiv, there was one question you just scrolled. Before in URL, there is a space. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So the first option, right, where there's a space. So I'm not too sure. whether that's something technically is allowed, or like, because the search when you give, I think the results does come. So I
Yes,
was a
this
little
one, right?
confused on because everything
Everywhere
apart
I
from
gave
that
a
space,
space.
everything looks.
Everywhere I gave a
Sorry?
space. Everywhere I gave a space.
This
Okay.
last time also you said is correct.
Yeah, this was discussed in the class.
We discussed in
Okay.
our
Okay.
session also.
Okay. All right.
That
All right.
bracket
Sure.
spacing and all. That
All
also we
right.
discussed in the session, but focus was missing. That's the reason I was telling you guys, focus, focus, focus. Everything is not captured in the notes or in the thumb rules. And that's the reason, like, I have written a new book now, The Rule of Thumbs. There are 45 thumb
nice.
rule. If you want to master the art of Boolean, then this is the rule of thumbs, which I'm going to roll out and which is pretty much live in Amazon as well. Just before an hour, I hosted it.
Oh, great, Shiv.
So there are like 40 plus rule of thumbs. Uh, in the Boolean logic, the other book, the rule of thumbs are covered, but not that much in depth. Here I covered little more in depth. Some on a high level I kept it, which because that depth was not required. But here I covered the rest of the examples also with the depth understanding, with the examples for each and every thumb rule. Why is it working? Why is it not working? You go through this, then you'll know where actually you were going wrong.
How
And
about the access for this?
I already hosted in this thing, but as you're in our session, I'll share you the PDF copy of it. But please don't share it externally. I know you'll say no, I'll not share it, but somehow you'll end up in sharing in some time. Okay. Now let me
Shiv,
come back.
Shiv, please go up, Shiv. Just yeah, still up. Still up. There are only 4 option question was there. Software developer. Yeah. Yeah. I think no, not this. Just above. This one, Shiv. This is the one I was asking about. See, if you go syntactically one thing and expectation is something else. So I mean,
There is no syntactical expectation. You run the searches, you see that because in LinkedIn, you know very well, even if one minor error, it will not give you the result. And
okay.
we have the limited operators and everything. So we have discussed that thing in a very much
No
previous
assumptions,
session.
right?
Not that,
No
Shiv. This one, 4 option
Answer is
wala.
straightforward here. There is no confusion here. People who has a confusion here in this question, can you please raise your hand or say yes? This question is confusing.
No, it's very straightforward, assuming it works or not. But expectation wise, I mean, I am looking for software developer only. Then
it was
something
there in
is
sample
different.
test also. I think it
Yeah,
was.
it was there in sample test.
Yeah,
That's what.
yeah,
Like now, she is telling you see the result and answer. So that now
You
I'm
see the
confused.
results also for this.
Both are same only, no change.
But
For
same
this
only, you see
question,
the
we have
results also
discussed
for
so
this.
many times in a group as well as in class also. Sample
This is
test
pretty
hints.
much straightforward.
No,
There is no confusion
no,
in this.
Harish. Actually, sample test. I am very much sure I answered correctly. Also, I was
Then,
clear. But
then simply copy and paste the same answer here.
no,
That's
no,
it.
no, 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 no. But thing is, she told now you should apply the logic as well as syntax. Both should be correct. So
Yes.
here
Even if
I'll
you
tell
logically
follow
it's
you,
logic,
not
it is
correct.
correct. Huh?
there are, see,
Logically it's
I'll
not
tell you,
correct
the
here.
every question and every answer, if you see the proper combination of it, okay, there are few things which are straightforward. There are few
Okay.
questions where you need to think logically, syntactically, and as per the output also. Okay. Now, in this thing also, if I'm thinking syntactically, logically, everything is correct. There is no confusion. You syntactically also you just check, you will have an answer. Logically also you check, you'll have an answer. As per the output also you check, you'll have an answer.
Just curious, Shiv, like I mean, second
In all
questions.
the ways, you will have an answer. See, there is no question where
Okay.
which is logically, syntactically correct, but as per the output, it is incorrect.
Okay.
There is no such question. Everything is designed properly. Now, if this question, if I have to ask you rest, what is the confusion in this?
No confusion.
It's pretty straightforward. I'll not say answer, but if you see logically, syntactically, you apply whatever, you see the output also, you'll find the right answer.
Yeah, I got it. But suppose if my expectation is software developer, I mean that is the expectation, then I will
Don't
not get.
go for the keywords. Keywords I never consider in the searches. What I'm searching for.
Okay.
Everything. See, here instead of that, I can use SAP developer, SAP engineer, anything. I'm not keen about the keyword. I'm keen about syntactical operators and the output related to that particular operator that searches whether it is working or not. If it is not working, why? If it is working, why?
Okay.
When we run those searches, then only we'll get to know. So here, if I'm searching for software developer, okay, fine, I use software developer, programmer, or engineer. That is also fine. Where is the confusion? Because I'm using not SDate or an Android.
No, second option, it is like software separate word and developer or engineer or programmer. Software can be anywhere, developer can be anywhere. If my expectation is I'm looking for software developer, software engineer, software programmer, I will not get that in the second option.
Syntactically, you check.
Syntactically is correct only. Yeah, I should not
Exactly.
tell. Yeah.
Run the searches, it will be correct.
Okay.
I'm not asking you to do that all. Okay. Here,
Okay.
if there is a specific question that get me the list of profile with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay, which one is correct? If I'm asking the question technically with technical words and giving you non-technical words, something like I'm asking you, get me the list of profiles with front-end engineer who has worked on HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And then I'll give a title. Okay, one set I'll give you front-end engineer, one set I'll give you UI engineer, one set I'll give you sales manager, another set I'll give you marketing manager. That time, what you're thinking is correct. What I'm asking, what is my assumption? I'm asking, get me the front-end engineer with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all the skills, and then I'm giving you 4 different titles. Then you're selecting the most relevant title, front-end engineer or UI engineers. You're not selecting a sales engineer or marketing engineer or marketing manager or sales manager.
Okay. Clear, Shiv, actually. I mean, I made it correctly in the beginning. Just to see, after our
is getting confused.
no, Shiv, after our WhatsApp discussion, no. So then I just evening today, I only changed this answer and checked. So it my 83 to 80% it came again. So I thought this is the correct one.
Overthinking is also not good. I'll show you one example where you got from and where most of the people are going wrong. I'll show you one example. Then you realize what I'm talking about.
C++.
No, 1, 2, 3 are correct. Above 1, 2, 3 are wrong. That one, I think.
Okay, here I give a hint also. Hint to the above question. Is URL of the
This is
web
the
equal
one.
to web link or website? Is URL of the web equal to web link or website or web page?
Yes.
Correct one.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. See, there's a difference between the operator site and in URL. But is there a difference between website and URL of the web or web link or website or web page?
No.
Okay, if there is also, it's minor difference. Website we can say as a parent and web link. Any pages under that particular website, we can say child, which is website.com/careers or /jobs or /resume or /profile or /me, anything like that. But that whole part is still a URL, which is a part of a web link, which is a part of a website. Your children are still a part of your family, right? Same way, website is a parent, web link or web pages or any additional link or pages, okay, is again a part of that web link. Again, if I ask you, enter your company URL, please enter your company web URL. So the same question, what are you going to enter? You're going to enter your company web URL, website, right? So there is no much difference between web pages and web URL or web link. All three are correct. It's just that the way I asked it, you got confused. There is a proper relation. Hint to the above question, is URL of the web is equal to web link or web page or web sites? It's pretty much yes. If I'm asking you to enter the URL of your website, what are you going to do? You're going to enter your website link. If I'm going to ask you, enter the URL of your career pages on your website, what are you going to do? You'll enter the website first, /career, right? So is the URL a part of a web link or a website?
Yes.
Absolutely. Simple. That's why I just gave a hint here.
In about 2 questions, is same thing. You were talking about URL. Is it mean like a website only? Yeah, this question also.
What does an operator in URL do? Only one option is right.
The question is wrong.
Question is wrong.
The question is wrong. Yes.
No, Shiv,
There is a
Shiv,
quotation here.
go down that question, Shiv. The previous question. Go down.
Why question is wrong?
No, here,
No, no, wait a
There is
second.
one
He's
correct.
asking why question is wrong. Here this
Yeah, because
colon is missing.
colon is not there.
Pattern is complete.
That
Oh,
is not proper.
Colon
okay.
is not there.
Yeah, syntactically.
Oh, sharpen your lens.
Shiv, that the site one, site colon.
That's simple.
Site colon, do we need to select the first three or the fourth one? Or all the
I'm
four?
not going to say the answer. I'm giving a hint. I'm not going to say the answer. Why do I tell you the answer? Hint itself is more than enough for you. So wherever the tick box is there, where you can select one option, only one answer is right. Wherever you
Box
have a
wise.
boxes, multiple answers are right. Don't think that I've selected that two. That two are pre-selected to confuse you. All right. But again, there are few more other right answers. So you need to think which are the other options which are right.
Shiv, in the options, third one and fourth one is saying web pages, another is saying web. So you mean to say that both web and web pages, you mean to say is same?
So I gave a hint here
Shiv,
in
what
the
are
below question. Is the URL of a web equal to web link, website, or web page?
Okay.
Shiv, in that
Yeah,
question of site,
that is yes.
there is one option, no, all, first, second, third, and fourth are incorrect. What is the fourth option there? I mean, I see only three options.
Where
Fourth
Fourth
checkbox
is
is the
all
fourth
three,
option.
first, second, third are correct. That is the fourth option.
Fourth checkbox is the fourth option.
Fourth is all three, first and second, third are correct. That is the fourth one.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, no, all first, second, third, fourth are incorrect. The question is wrong, the question is right, and there are multiple right answers. I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I gave you the hint. Now please go ahead and take it. And again, here also, again, I give a hint to above question. Is the URL of a web equal to web link or website or web pages or anything? Whoever has answered this right can answer this right. Whoever has answered this wrong will answer this wrong. That's as simple. That is pretty much straightforward. There is no confusion over there. It's just that the options have used it.
But Shiv, I can choose only the fourth option, right? Why do you
I'm
need
not
to
going to say
select
the answer. Going to say the answer.
Yeah. No, whenever you have a checkbox, it means you can select multiple
Wherever
options.
you have a checkbox like this,
that
you can
we
select
knew only
multiple
now,
options.
yeah. That we knew only now. Okay.
Why you knew only now? Earlier also it was there. We knew
No,
earlier
no,
also.
we knew that even earlier. We knew that even
Earlier was
earlier.
there, but focus did not go in that way because all the answers were upfront and straightforward. So that
the square
only...
and the circle was told only now only, right?
No, before was there.
So before also.
There was a combination of circle and boxes. Earlier in sample test also, there was a combination of circle and boxes. It's just that I've tweaked a bit. And then we got all messed up. We got all confused what the hell is happening and all. But no hell is happening. It's just that we need to think little different. Okay. Now, when you have a boxes, select multiple right answers. I know, but I'm not going to tell you the answer. You select. I gave you the hint. Now you select the right answers.
So one more question. There are questions related to Google search and LinkedIn. Which option is wrong for Google search? Which option is wrong for LinkedIn? So there also we have to consider all of the above and none of the above.
Anywhere which allows us, you'll have to. Anywhere it is asking me to select multiple option, I'll have to. Anywhere it is asking me to select the right option, I'll have to.
I think wherever that question is asking to select a wrong answer, then
Okay.
I think that
Otherwise,
logic.
why do I repeat? Why do I repeat? What does the in URL do? What does an operator in URL do? And what does an operator in URL do? I repeat it twice.
Right.
Why I'm repeating same question twice?
One syntax is wrong, another one actually
Okay,
is
and
right
as
one.
you see, every option looks right. It helps us to restrict the searches from a specific website. This looks right. It helps us to restrict the searches for a specific URL. That also looks right. Both first and second are correct. That also looks right. No, first, second, third options are wrong. There I'm getting confused. All of the above, there I'm getting confused. None of the above, there I'm getting confused. But there is one simple, straightforward answer to it. If you go to the notes, what does an operator site do? What does an operator in URL do? You have an answer over there. And if you really got registered that thing in your mind, then you can immediately answer it.
This one wasn't difficult.
Hmm?
That question in URL colon, that was the simple question. I mean, I could do that one.
Okay, and now coming back to this one. This is also pretty straightforward. We discussed many times. If you are focused on the session, if you're focused in the class, you'll be able to clear. This was also pretty much straightforward. We discussed many times. If you're focused on in the discussion during the class, you can clear. Okay, this was also discussed in the class. What will happen when we search for site :me dot? If you're there focused in the class, you can clear. What will happen when we search for in URL :me? Then if you're smart enough, you can catch the right answer. And
Yeah,
you
this
know
one,
how
this one
straightforward
is
it
for
is.
Google or LinkedIn. Google.
Huh? This
This
one,
one.
you apply for LinkedIn, Google, anything. It's all same for everything. But logically, there's one option which is correct, applicable across the board.
Next
This
question is
one,
very interesting, Shiv.
huh?
Next
Anthony,
question. This
by
is very interesting. This
my
is what I asked actually. What is your expectation here? Question is not clear.
So,
Question
Shiv,
is
if I
very
go
clear.
by the notes of the session, there is only one right answer.
No,
But
no,
what
You
correct. I
select
mean,
that
see,
right
thing is,
answer, na?
Correct.
Why are you confusing yourself?
okay.
no,
Okay.
no,
But
Shiv.
you are given
Actually,
square, right?
if your expectation is like
Shiv.
to find 3 to 8 years of experience, then one answer. If as per Google allowing me to write syntactically correct, there is another set of answer.
See, in
So
both the options, there are right options. If you're
But the
searching it
question says
syntactically,
which one is correct? Which one?
no,
which
no,
one
no.
is correct?
Need not be one.
Yeah, but then there is a box.
square,
Oh,
right?
it's a
So you have
square,
a
right? Where
multiple.
you can choose multiple, correct? It's a box. It's not a
You have a
circle.
square. You have a box. You can choose multiple answers, and there are multiple right answers to it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
one option which looks correct, syntactically everything looks correct. But if you run that, it will not work. Then you'll understand, no, this is not working with the combination of this. And that combination I've not taken in the other option. If you have selected one right option, in these options, if you have selected one right option, then you came to the second similar option. And if you're not selecting that, and if you're thinking this is also correct because this was correct, but if you run these two searches, you'll understand the potential difference between these two searches. Then you'll understand whether it is right or wrong. If you don't do that, you won't understand that. Until unless you won't run the search, you won't understand that.
So
So,
ideally,
Shiv,
one is
I
an
gave the
option, right?
search for this one. I specifically gave the search. Okay. And for most part of it, whatever you had taught in the class turned out
Hmm.
to be the right answer.
Okay, so there are multiple right answer, but as I mentioned, there is one critical option where few things looks pretty similar, but it's not correct. You will say it is sticking to the thumb rule. You'll say it is following the logic, but if you see it is not correct. So that is little tricky. You want to know which one is that? No, I'm not going to tell you because this is one among those questions. If you get it right, you'll be able to score 100 questions. There are 2 to 3 questions like that, which are means if you get that right, then only you'll be able to go to the 100%. And
One
this
of them.
one question is one among
No,
them.
no, Shiv.
One of
No,
them
you are
is next
saying
question also, I
here
think.
only one answer or multiple answers?
There are multiple answers.
Correct answer.
See, wherever you have a checkbox, there are multiple answers.
Yeah, multiple answers.
There are no twist here, right? Even though there is a checkbox. No, you
No,
have to-
even that rule is also not there. Even if you see here, okay, so that rule doesn't apply. Don't think that if the checkbox is there, only one option, there are multiple right options. There could be only one option also which could be right. But for most of the questions where only one straightforward right answer is there, I used a circle. But few questions I used a checkboxes where even only one option is right.
So
Multiple
this is
options
one more
could be
twist in the question paper, right, Shiv?
right. Absolutely. Welcome to the twisting land. Okay. Now let's say in this question, Okay. In this question, I'm not going to say the answer, but yes, this question is also a little tricky. So whatever I discussed, as I mentioned, you'll have to run the searches, you'll have to see the output, then only you'll get the right answers for this. I'm not going to discuss the right answer. So syntactically, if you see, it looks right, but when you actually run the searches, it won't work. When you actually see the results, you would see that it's working, but something different. It's not really understanding as per the syntax. So there are only few options which are understanding as per the syntax and which are correct options. But as I mentioned, which one is wrong is a little difficult to answer. If I ask you which one is right, then most of you would answer. But when I'm asking you which one is wrong and added some few of the additional keywords like that, then that's where
Shiv,
the confusion got created.
in this question also we have to select multiple, right?
I'm not going to say answer.
No, this is which one is wrong. Multiple options we have to select.
So the question says which one is wrong. So it means only one is wrong here.
But
No, no,
here
don't stick to that.
there is a box here. There is no circle.
But
No,
still,
no,
there is an option.
which one is wrong? That logic is not there, I guess.
That
One
that
doesn't
logic
have to
is
be
not.
one.
It could
Correct.
be
Okay.
That's right.
it could be one or multiple also. What I
Yes,
meant to
yes.
say,
So,
which one was wrong?
LinkedIn
So the question should
and
be which
GitHub
are
has to be
all
taken
wrong,
as
Shiv.
Huh?
The question should be which are all wrong. Which are all
Which
wrong.
are okay? I'll just correct that.
Shiv. So these two sites have to be taken as keywords or actually sites, because then I think the searches are
Back to the
appearing to
notes.
be.
Go back to the recordings of weekend. Go back to the thumb rules.
Site cannot have multiple. That's what he taught us.
I'm not gonna say answers, but you try and see what exactly it is.
This
So
was
this is
covered.
definitely one among those questions.
Yeah, this was covered in our class too. I mean, batch 2 class actually, but we don't
It
have
was covered.
recording.
It
It
was
is not
covered. People who
cached in the note also. In
people
this
who
link.
are focused, they were able to get it right. But if you're not focused, if you have not asked the question, you won't get it.
I
Shiv,
actually, I
we need to go
remember.
You
up on
literally
one
have to
LinkedIn
run these
question.
searches and see. Then only you'll be able to get the right answer for this.
One LinkedIn question also is little tricky. That's C++.
Very simple. You should look at the
Very
operators. That's
simple.
all. You need to look at the operators.
Very simple. You just need to use your binoculars and see. You just zoom it
No,
and see.
see here the quotations, the quote marks are different. Am I right, Shiv?
You
I'm
go.
not going to say the answer. You
No, this
submit
is
and see,
easier.
you'll have
This is
answer.
easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's the easy one.
Shiv, there was one, I think it just went on top, which said which cannot be X-rayed or searched.
Hmm. That also we discussed in the class.
Yeah, that is easy one.
In
Can
class
you-
we discussed, class.
That one
We discussed
emojis.
this also
I
in the class.
don't recollect, Shiv, we having discussed this in the class.
We
In
discussed.
batch two.
We have discussed this.
We
We
discussed.
discussed it.
No,
We did.
even I don't remember.
Yeah, even I
But
don't
We
remember.
we
discussed.
found
We
the results
discussed
were
actually
giving
always.
images. But emojis alone I didn't find.
No, every day when we were doing searches, Shiv has mentioned this point actually.
We discussed. Number of these times I discussed this.
Many times when you was doing around operator. Right, Shiv?
Yeah.
Many times
When
we
we
discussed about all the things, whatever is there in the test about each and everything. I very good remember. I know everything. And the day something I found interesting, trust me, I have a note. I have a notes. Most of the questions are here. Which question should be added in the test?
You told me one question you framed from my doubt. that
One
one
question is
that
straight
one,
from your question only.
yeah, that only I'm failing actually now.
You are finding it difficult. So it
you
was
made
basically
a
framed on based on your question. So there is no, it's not tough at all. Whatever we discussed in our session, it's pretty much based on that. So not just
Shiv,
sticking to the thumb rule, not just sticking to the what we're discussing what we're writing in the doc, but also what we are discussing in the sessions is really, really important.
Shiv, there's one question about my name is Anthony. What is that we are expecting over there? Is it
You tell me the
keywords
correct
and
one.
This is
Yeah,
also
easy
simple.
one only.
Simple, I think.
Yeah,
This
it's
also we
simple.
discussed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this
This
is
you
You
very
sent in
created a
WhatsApp
WhatsApp call
also.
on this.
You had
Where were
sent on
you?
WhatsApp, Shiv, this one.
okay, okay.
That is
This
easy.
This
was
was
pretty
not in the
much discussed
class,
on
but in the
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp we discussed it.
We have a poll on this on WhatsApp.
Okay, I would have missed it.
All right.
Shiv, I have one question.
Mhm.
So software engineer, so it will be counted as 2 keywords or it's a 1 keyword within phrase?
My name is Mr. Anthony. मैं दुनिया में अकेला हूँ. Is it counted as one single keyword or how? If you have missed that WhatsApp chat, then you have missed it.
One single keyword.
One single.
Okay,
Shiv,
understood.
Shiv, that C++ one stuff, all codes are all the same style only, or it is in different style? I'm unable to look at it. I found somewhere it is slanting, somewhere it is straight.
So that's where you have an answer. You take a look at it, then answer it correctly.
See, there is, there are two things are slanting and two things are straight.
Everything looks correct, but it's incorrect. Everything looks incorrect, but it's correct. The test is designed in that way. Everything looks correct, but it's incorrect. Everything looks incorrect, but it's correct.
Yeah. This question was there in sample test, but now it's changed a little bit, the codes and all. Earlier it was different.
Okay. So there's a what we say in Arundhati, he says, right, something. Every visible thing is not visible. Every invisible thing is something like that. So it's something like this only.
So all the gold are not glitters.
Every visible
All
thing
the-
doesn't exist, and every invisible thing also exists. So you have to see all those things.
So Shiv,
Invisible
just tell me
things.
this alone. Shiv, just tell me this alone. On the third point, the first quote and third quotes are different or same?
Quotations accepted by LinkedIn, quotations accepted by Google, quotations accepted.
I'm asking, is it same or different? Because you shouldn't say that is ignore it.
It's different.
It's different.
Okay. Okay.
It's in front of you. You just have to focus it and see.
Yeah.
All right, team. Can I expect now to score 100% few more?
Sure, Shiv.
Yes,
At
we
least
really,
90%.
At least 90 I can assure you.
But see if you can make it 100. After knowing all this hint, I want definitely 101.
sure, so we'll try our best.
What?
Surely we'll try our best. We won't give it up.
Try. As I
to be
mentioned,
frank,
try.
Shiv, actually,
Can you
we
just
understand the pain of missing the classes. When we used to take this test, we really understand the difficulty, the value of the classes. Sometimes we would have missed certain classes and notes.
You would
That
have missed
actually
classes,
costing a
missed
lot.
the
Yeah,
notes.
yeah, it's
Can
actually
you just
costing a lot.
Yeah,
Can you
many
just
of things
So-
we missed noting actually. You should have noted
I-
down everything.
I
Something we
think
just heard and left it.
I think after this, and I don't think we are going to miss any of the classes for the notes.
That's the reason I made a test in that way.
Right. Understood.
Okay, because these are not theory driven. This is a test which is practical driven. It's not just the theory which is required to clear this test. It's also the practicality which is required to clear this test. And that's how I've designed it. Earlier, I gave that sample one. I was really happy. I thought then, okay, fine, let me just tweak a bit. And then when we tweaked it, boom, everything got confused.
Shiv,
right.
I just have one question.
See, that's where I'm telling you. Let's say if we know what is right, what is right, what is right. Tomorrow, if there is something which is not right, how will you figure it out? Can you figure it out? I'll give you
Yeah,
all the
that's
right
tough.
option. I'll make it easy. You'll pass it. Okay, but after few months, when you run a searches and if there are some bugs or if there are some mistakes, will you be able to figure it out? Yes,
It will
no?
be tough.
It will be tough. You won't be able to figure it out. That's the reason going with knowing what is right, what is wrong, it definitely helps us in figuring it out which is correct, which is wrong.
Hmm.
That's how the test is designed. Okay, team?
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
someone has some question?
Yeah, Shiv, this is Lokesh. I have a question. So when we're using these operators in text or in title, and when we're using the operator or, so you said that before and after or we can give space or without space based on the used case. And some of the example I see is like there is a space before and there's no space after or. Is that allowed?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was the
allowed. In
rule book
title
there?
allowed.
We discussed
Sorry?
it multiple times.
On in title it is allowed.
Yeah.
Or in text it is allowed.
Correct.
It's
Okay.
only for the URL or site that there shouldn't be any space, but wherein for the rest of the thing, there may be, there may not be. It depends on the
This also
usage.
is said the last class we mentioned.
All right. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, so here is the book. Okay, the rules of thumb for mastering the Boolean art. So it's not just understanding the Boolean operator, but also the rules of thumbs. So it's a 20-page, 24 pages box, which is already hosted. I'll share a PDF copy of it. Even there are some of the thumb rules for GitHub also discovered. For GitHub, don't go till GitHub. As soon as GitHub starts, just give a pause. And once we start going over a GitHub searches, once we start diving on a GitHub searches, that time we'll go for a GitHub searches. Because in GitHub, there are two types of operator. One is two types of a keyword. One is operator driven and non-operator driven. So that is a little technical, but when we start, that by the time we move to the GitHub, we would have that much equipped technically, so that it will be easy. But it is little later. So even though if you get a book now, go only till the Google ones, and as soon as the GitHub starts, just give it a pause.
Sure.
And try not
So
to share.
not much covered in LinkedIn. Shiv?
No. Still, operators pretty much covered for LinkedIn, Monster, Naukri, Dice, everything. Okay, for LinkedIn, there would be a different stuff altogether when we dive deep on a LinkedIn. So around 20-25 pages book. And then it is also hosted. Today only I hosted it on a Kindle. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Vishav, you'll be sharing the weekend recording.
Weekend I'm yet to upload. Let me just start uploading. Just give me a moment. I'll upload and share it.
Sure.
All right.
Thank
All right then. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, Shiv.
Thank
you. Don't miss the classes.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Shiv.
Thank you,
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shiv.
Can you stay back for a
Shiv, I mean, this PDF you're sharing it, Shiv?
I'll share it.
Okay.
I'm just working on few content. After that, I'll just share it.
Okay,
Shiv, can you just
thank you.
stay back for a second?
Who is that?
Rohini.
Yeah, Rohini.
Yeah, so can you, I have a doubt with one of the questions, Shiv. So can you just scroll down a little bit? Yes, here select all the right options. No, the next question. Yes,
Okay.
here I actually I missed the site class, so I'm not actually sure of this.
It's
Though I
just
know
class. It's not the site class. It's something else.
Okay.
It's something else. What is constant in website?
The dot.
Huh?
Dot.
The question is around that. Think hard.
Okay.
You'll have an answer for that.
Okay.
Okay. We did cover that pretty much with the examples. If you
Okay.
think hard and if you know what is constant in the website, you should be able to answer.
Okay.
All
Got
right. Okay. Then. Thank you. Bye.
Shiv Santosh here.
Yes, Santosh.
Shiv, yesterday I was little late in the class, so I couldn't cover that redefining in the customer search engine. So are you going to provide the like that part
Later
also
in
in
the
the
recordings,
recording?
I'll share it.
Okay, now please, thank you, bye.
Yes,
Good
Shiv,
night.
one doubt. Can you go up a little bit up? Yeah, stop with this. So for this question, just a doubt. So if you see there are two right options, if
There are
in
multiple
case
options.
correct. So if you see
You
that
have to select only one right option.
okay, so there are multiple right answers. So that was where I was confused. There was perfectly clear straight answer one was there, and there was wrong thing was also there.
It helps restrict the searches to a specific website. It
No.
looks right,
Hmm.
but it's not right.
Correct.
It has one straightforward answer. You have the answer in it.
Correct. But like if you see the first two are also wrong, third is also wrong. So the fourth one is correct, no? If you see logically.
You not say answer. You have to go.
No, huh? I'm not say asking for
Right
the
answer.
answer. No, I'm just saying if you see on a logical front, that can also be the answer.
Whichever the front you see, you go ahead and attend as per your understanding. I'm not going to
Okay.
say. But what you're saying is wrong.
Okay.
It's something else.
Got it.
Okay. All right then. Thank you. Bye.